Well, hello everybody. It's Bug Eater 64, and today we are going to be flying, and this is just going to be a test flight. But we're going to be flying the DCS World HUEY UH-1, and what I'm going to be doing is this is going to be my first ever flight in the HUEY without using any forced trim. In the past, I've always turned on the forced trim. It's made life fairly easy at stabilizing the helicopter, um, things like that. But after watching a great YouTuber and fellow veteran, Cosmo and CasmoTV, um, he's an old, well, he's probably going to hate the fact I'm saying old, but he's an old warhorse that flew both Apaches and the Kiowa, and he does a lot of flying in DCS. So I've watched his flights, and he does not use forced trim. So I would just wanted to see what it was like, and so let's get in the cockpit and find out if I can fly this thing. Even though you all know I'm not the best helicopter pilot in the world, that's for darn sure, especially when it comes to hovering. But anyway, we're going to get inside. We're going to have some fun. We're going to fly it, and we'll be on the Syria map. But it's going to be a relatively short flight. Just this, for me, this is just a test and get a little practice in. So we'll see you inside the cockpit. Okay, well, here we are in the cockpit of the Huey, and we probably should have designated the time of year and the weather conditions when I set up this mission in DCS. But I didn't, so we've got thunderstorms, but it's a way of showing you the raindrops hitting my windscreen. So we'll get things started here. Plenty of lightning to go around, so now in the upper left hand corner of the screen you can see my control settings for cyclic, collective, and throttle. Just wanted to leave that there. Normally I would go ahead and get rid of it.
Request refueling.
But a lot of people
rearming.
do like to see it.
Copy.
So we're going to go ahead and leave it there for this trip. And lower right hand corner, of course, you can see what my crew settings are when I'm in the cockpit. We're going to be rearming. I want my door gunners in there. Just in case I decide to go shoot anything, which probably not. Like I said, this flight is going to be very, very short. I just want to get a little practice in. But I thought you might find it interesting watching an inexperienced helicopter pilot fly without the forced trim. So that's what we're going to do.
Refueling complete.
Yeah, we'll finish off getting our two gunners on board. Now, if it was just the rain, that would be very soothing. I could probably just take a nap here and let the co-pilot do all the flying. But we've got a full crew now, so. The other thing is I am not using any TRAKIR or VR. So I'm basically doing this old school. Using my Alt-C keys on my keyboard and my mouse to switch back from just being able to move my head around and also to be able to activate the different systems on the aircraft. And as you saw there, we went ahead and checked the cyclic and collective to make sure that they have free motion, and also the anti-torque pedals. So we'll go ahead and get things started and get her started up. Okay, battery on. We'll go back down here and turn off that warning horn. Fuel on. And of course we'll turn on the hydraulics, but I'm not going to turn on the force trim. So we got the throttle just cracked, and then go ahead and turn on the power for the electric altimeter. And we will start the engine. Now the Huey isn't like a lot of modern aircraft. This is an old aircraft, very hands-on. A lot of modern aircraft have a lot of stabilization assist systems, not the Huey. So you've got, and that's why I love it. Plus I spent probably 800 hours over my 20-year career in this aircraft. And, you know, fast roping out of them, repelling out of them, parachuting out of them, which is a great platform for that. Most helicopters are, they're so stable. But it's a hands-on helicopter, and I just love it. I don't fly it as well as I'd like to, but by God, she's my favorite of all the helicopters that I've flown in either DCS or other flight sims such as X-Plane, and even now in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But the Huey is my favorite. She's so nostalgic, and just an old workhorse. She's not as powerful as a lot of more modern helicopters. But by God, she's a workhorse, and she can take a beating. You can tell that by the way I fly sometimes. Alright, so we've got all the systems going. Everything's looking good. We are still having a problem in DCS with some real lag. You just saw it there. So, but we worked through it, and we'll just try to keep that in mind when I'm flying, and hope that it doesn't kill me. All right, add a little collective. Okay. Like I said, I'm not real good. I'm much better at hovering when I'm using the force trim. But we're not doing that today. And this is my first flight without it, so do the best I can. And with practice, it'll get better. For me, this is just great fun. Like I said, if I wanted to do this for practice, I probably shouldn't have picked a day with thunderstorms and lots of wind. But we shall do the best we can. So just a short flight around the block and come back. She seems to be doing just fine. It doesn't seem to be as difficult as I thought it might be. The one thing I've noticed, even with the Huey or any of the helicopters, if I try to put in, like when I made that right turn, banking turn there, I put in right pedal, and it really doesn't react the way I would expect it to. It seems to kind of slide around the turn, and the tail doesn't come around. So anyway, and let's not hit the tree. That would be bad. And we're gonna head back and make the landing. Like I said, this is just a very, very short flight to practice and test, and I'll do more practicing later when I just want to do this to make sure I could do it. And I haven't seen that much difference in how the helicopter handles from when I do use force trim. So I think I would prefer not using force trim in a combat area. So it seems to be easier to make quicker changes and so on. I don't know if that's true or not. It just feels, the helicopter feels lighter to me, and seems to react better without the force trim. That may be just a personal thing. There's some more of that lag. Alright, let's spin her around. One of the things I really need to work on, and I've noticed, and it may be because I'm not using force trim, it seems I need to work on my pedal turns. I seem to, instead of making nice pedal turns, I seem to slew around, so I'm not sure. Again, it may be just that I haven't practiced enough. A little bit higher than I normally am when I'm doing trying to do a hover taxi, but Not too bad. Want to go down. Go ahead straight ahead, and then when I get down towards that light post, not too close of course, I want to try to do some pedal turn to come back out forward. And we'll see how they work. Okay, I'm having some problems with the hover and keeping it actually steady. Primarily it wants to go forward, and I can stop that pretty easily, but then I'm not being quick enough to stop the backwards slide when I don't, when I'm not looking for a backward slide. Now that pedal turn was really sloppy. Like I said, got a lot of things to work on. And of course, doing this in thunderstorms, heavy rain and wind probably isn't the best place to train. But hey, so I'm going to move forward a little bit, and then I'm going to try to ease it back, move the tail backwards on purpose, and not crash the thing. But that's moved back okay. Probably a little bit too fast, but then it gets sloppy. I just have a tendency of, when I'm trying to hold the hover, then I put the nose down and it automatically moves forward. So as you can see, it's going to take a lot of practice, which means if I do a lot of practice, you guys get to see more flights. So we're just going to land here. And everything, for me, everything went well. I mean, it was pretty sloppy flying, but overall, not using the force trim, no issues there. Okay, throttle back. Go ahead and stop that warnings horn. And we'll go ahead and shut the aircraft down. Probably should have just left the doors closed. It's raining. Such a terrible thing to do. So we'll get her shut down, and then it's off to the officers club for a for a drink or two. Celebratory drink of scotch. The Glenlivet 18-year-old. 'Tis a fine thing. So back where we started. Short flight complete, so all is well. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming. Till next time. Alrighty, well, we finished the flight. Everything went okay. Lots of wind, and I probably, when I set up this mission, I set it up for random weather, things like that, and it chose thunderstorms. So once I got in the mission and saw all the rain, it was a good way of showing the water droplets working and things like that. But yeah, it made handling the helicopter a little more difficult because of the wind. and I probably could have done a better job if I had just kept her headed into the wind instead of dealing with a lot of crosswind trying to hover and things like that. But anyway, flying without the forced trim, no real issue. And it's going to take some practice, of course, to get it down a little bit better. But I think it's going to be excellent for when I'm flying missions and so on. I'm going to have to work on one of the things I was working on. You saw there, I was trying to, side slip it a little bit just to ease it backwards. One of the things I found with the Huey is when you try to slide back, sometimes she really wants to take off instead of easing back. So gonna have to work on some maybe my curves in my control setup and a few other things and just practice. It's been a while since I've flown in DCS because as you saw, we still have the lag issue, and I wasn't on multiplayer servers. I was just, you know, a quick mission that I set up, and still had some issues with lag, and I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have that problem. But anyway, I had a lot of fun with it. I enjoyed it. I sure hope you enjoyed coming along for the ride. And if there's anything you'd like to see, any type of aircraft, because I fly in both, or in DCS World, I fly in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I also fly in X-Plane 11. So please feel free if you like the content. Um, and would like to see a specific aircraft, if I've got it in my hangars, I'll definitely do a flight for you. Also, thoroughly enjoy the comments people have made. You've been very kind to me, very friendly, and that's always a real pleasure to me and really helps me want to continue to uh, make content like this. Also, if you like the content, feel free to click that subscribe button and then the little bell to let you know whenever I post new content. It's free. I do it strictly for fun. I'm an old retired guy, so please come on board. Let's have some fun. Fly with me and watch me do silly stuff. Okay. Anyway, until next time, this is Bug Eater 64, and as always, safe flying.